Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So as indicated, I'm not going to try and repeat the minister's speech, because the minister's speech was really to highlight the key aspects of the report, but we're just giving a visualization of what the minister's spoken about to set the scene for the panel discussion that will come here to unpack this and discuss this. As you saw, Minister spoke about our competitiveness, how South Africa's competitiveness has declined comparatively to the rest of the world. But when you unpack this, why we're declining in terms of competitiveness, it's related, for example, to government inefficiencies, such as business legislation, public finance, institutional frameworks. But also, if you look at infrastructure issues of roads, ports, electricity, digital infrastructure. We know that the country, through the presidential program on Vulindlela, trying to deal with issues of logistics and improve our infrastructure in the country, these are all the efforts government is doing to build the business confidence in our country. But we also see that the economic performance of the country, including domestic economic growth and employment, is currently very sluggish. And we see that and these are key foundations and conditions for competitive, innovation-driven economy. We see that not all is gloom. We see that we ranked quite well in terms of our tax policy. We've got an efficient tax system, but that doesn't inspire confidence in our long-term investment. So we need more inspiration in terms of long-term investment. So we also see that when we compare to our other BRICS countries, that we are also not doing very well within the global south. Minister spoke about the decline in R&D investment. We see that this has declined. We're currently sitting at 0.61%. And we see that this is stagnating in terms of where we were pre-COVID, as the minister mentioned. But we also see that government is investing more than business. The business investment in R&D is declining, and we see more investment by government. And we see that in industrialized economies, it's supposed to be the other way around. Private sector are supposed to be the main drivers of investment in research and development and innovation. Minister reflected also on the human resources aspect, and we saw the numbers in terms of the only 29% of university graduates were in the STEM fields. And we see that this is an undersupply in terms of the demand side, in terms of what our economy needs. But we also look deeper within the TVET sector, where we see that we have, for every 100 students that starts engineering pathway, only 38 of that 100 finishes within that pathway. So this is a really concerning factor for us, and we are doing more in terms of investigation in this area. We spoke about the issues of transformation in the academic sector, and we see that that's more academic staff in terms of black staff, but also more in terms of PhD holders within our academia. So that's a positive for us. And this also comes at the back end of the historic Transformation Summit, which the Minister hosted last year at NACI in March 2025, where we're looking at transformation within the NSI. We know that we don't have dedicated indicators to track transformation in the NSI, and this is work that NACI has started as the outcomes of the Transformation Summit to see how do we develop these indicators to be able to track transformation in the NSI. Because often we see transformation in the NSI as a lip service. We say that we transform, but there's no real transformation that's happening within the NSI. And Minister spoke about the supervisory burden, and I think this is the biggest problem that we are facing, and hence we are doing the study now with CHE. We've just initiated a study with CHE on the issues of outsourcing of master's and PhD thesis and dissertation, and we want to see what are the key factors contributing to that. Minister spoke about the issues of commercialization, that we are also lagging behind in that area. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that. I think importantly, this is a new area that we've started tracking within the report, is our innovation within the local level. Minister spoke about how do we make sure we decentralize issues of innovation at the local level? How do we build regional innovation systems in our country? And we see the service delivery issues that we are currently grappling with. But through the district development model, it is important that we mainstream innovation within the local level. And I think this is a very important index that we have as a country that we are tracking. I also mentioned, Minister, when I discussed with the colleagues, that this index in its own is an innovation from us as South Africa, because we actually developed this index to track innovation within the local level. So we shouldn't take it for granted. It's an innovation, it's in itself at the policy level as a policy framework. So we need to see how do we work with the rest of our neighbors on this. We spoke about the digital divide, that yes, as much as we have improved on e-government services, but largely a lot of people are still not connected because of the high cost of connectivity, the issues of infrastructure. So these are the issues that we need to deal with. So in conclusion, what are the key messages? We are saying global competitiveness is declining, government efficiency, infrastructure, and economic performance all ranked at the bottom 10. R&D investment has stagnated, business R&D share has fallen significantly, and it remains far from the national target. The NDB target of 2030 is 1.5%. By 2030, we should have reached 1.5% of R&D investment, and we are 5 years away from that. Skills are misaligned. You saw the data that was just presented in terms of the decline of our STEM graduates, but also the TVET, which is underproducing in terms of technicians and artisans. We also see the commercialization gap is widening in terms of patents that have halved and high-tech exports that are falling. And lastly, the digital government has strengthened, but inclusion lags behind. Minister spoke about inclusive growth. We can say we are doing well, but are we inclusive in the way we do things? And I think that word inclusive is quite critical in how we vote. We also say that we are amongst the best in terms of the BRICS countries, in terms of e-government, and also majority of households still remain excluded. So these are the key messages from what is being highlighted in the minister's speech. This was just a visualization of the data,